But because I was a clerk typist, I was typing out the KP list for all the people in our unit. So there were certain people that didn't want to go do KP. KP is when you have to go in the kitchen and peel potatoes, or you gotta mop the floor. But the Army is very basic. It's not like some wonderful world. I mean, it's like there's certain things you do in the beginning, like anything. So anyway, so because of that, there were certain sergeants that would buy me a bottle of scotch and say, "I'm not going to be on the KP list, correct? This month?" I says, "That's correct." Then there were certain ones that would give me a $50 bill and say, "I'm not going to be on the list this month, correct?" And then there was one, Sergeant Brown, I never forget, he says, "Anytime you need a rental car for 3 days going back and forth to San Francisco, I'm not on the list, correct?" And because of who I was and my little bit of power I had as a clerk typist, I could also get sometimes more than, I get 2 days off every week, but sometimes I could squeeze a third day because I'm not on the lieutenant would say, "Well, I'm not on the KP list, right?" I mean, I had majors, I had generals. This is a government unit. This was not some little, I mean, that one can check that outfit. And I'm ER 1975231, sir. And I had to salute these mothers all the time, and and get up in the morning and go to bugle call and all this stuff. But I played the game, and I did good. I got an honorable discharge after that, and from the 6 months. And then the long run was 8 years. I had to do 8 years of meetings. And then during the summer, we had a 2-week summer camp. And most of those 2-week summer camps, we'd go to university because we were a higher up unit. So we'd go to university and study the history of war. Or we'd talk to generals talking about war or whatever. Like, it's like, it was interesting. It wasn't like, And then I avoided the Vietnam War. That was the best thing. But the interesting thing at bivouac, at the end of bivouac, there was a guy who approached me. He said, "We were thinking you'd make a good helicopter pilot, because you helped us and you did a lot of things, particularly keeping us off KP and doing this and doing that. You'd make a real good, we could put you in that position if you'd like." So he said, "Think about it, for a week and then let us know." So I checked around. I thought, fuck, maybe I would make a good helicopter guy. And so I started rolling the dice a little bit on that. And then somebody said, you know about Vietnam? The helicopters don't do too well there.
Yeah.
They tend to fall out of the sky. So I said, no, I met a bunch of people. I met Janis Joplin up in San Francisco on the weekend, and I met, with her band. She just arrived from Port Arthur, Texas. And I went to this place called the Anxious Asp, and I got along real well with the big brother in the company because I had money and I had, I was able to buy them drinks and buy them pot, and we all sat out front of the club and smoking dope, and then I was able to get Janis her booze that she wanted, and then they all took a liking to me, even though I had short hair, but I wore a hat to kind of disguise myself with sunglasses, and because I was pretty much a rookie Army guy. I mean, the Army definitely didn't want me up there smoking dope or hanging out with who I was hanging out with, but I managed to pull it off. Sometimes you got to do things on the sly. So I got along well with them, and then I actually put a show together down at the Army base because they put shows on periodically, and I brought Janis down and put an afternoon show on and got $500 for it, and Big Brother came with, obviously. And I personally did the light show. I put the screen up and put the oil on it, and I did the light show, and I had fun doing that. But the great part was I was able to do a little turn for Janis as far as, so that meant a lot to her because money was tight then. She was just getting started, and then I got introduced to David Freiberg of the